You know, for us to come and survive the conditions that we played under tonight just speaks volumes of our team, and just a resilient team, you know, we talked to them about finding a way to win, but then we also talked to them about just refusing to lose. And we watched tonight the way we battled, we just refused to lose. You know, you get the ball there in the second half, and we score right before half was a big score for us to get it back, you know, get us back going, and then we kicked the field goal to make it 17-15. And then we're driving the ball there in the fourth quarter, and then Jeremy drops it. But still, just defensively, we were able to get the big stops. And defensively, when we played well, then you just see the whole team. It just sparks the whole football team. And that's what we were able to do tonight. And then the fourth quarter, you know, they got the drive there right there at the end, but we kept bringing pressure. And we had to find a way to go get stops, and we did on defense.
Charlie, what was the difference? Defensively, you guys gave up 176 yards on the ground in the first half, and then in the second half, I don't know what they finished with, but for a while it was about 30 yards.
Well, you look at the first half, it was like we were missing tackles, and it was almost like we just you know, they was running through tackles. And we didn't do a good job of tackling it all in the first half.
When did you realize the weather was going to be that much of a factor?
Well, I didn't think, you know what I thought? I thought it was going to be like last week, it would rain and then stop, and then all of a sudden it just looked like second quarter, it just picked up. And then Teddy wasn't able to grip the ball, and that's a part of our game, the throw game, so he wasn't able to make the throw, so it just turned into a run game for both sides of the ball. And we just knew that if we just could open up the holes and let our guys get outside with Sonoris and with Jeremy, you know, then we would be able to survive this game.
Was it ever unsafe out there?
No, you know, that's what you start looking at, because the weight of water, it was no drainage out there. And that's what you get afraid of, because you sit there, it's like, okay, there's no drainage. You start worrying. Come back out there the second half, and it was just puddled up, especially on the sideline. But, you know, you look at our team, and they never said anything about it. I said, well, guys, it's raining on both sides of the ball, so it's nothing we can complain about.
Talk about Perry's run there that puts what you had. Or was Perry?
Oh, that was a big run. It was a third down, and what we were talking about is the water said we don't make it here on third, we're going to kick the field goal and go up 18-17. And then Sonoris broke the outside, and they wouldn't score, which is big. So now they have to drive the ball, go score a touchdown.
John's field goal was huge in those conditions from 38.
Oh, it was huge. And then right before he kicked it, I said we were going to, you know, that's when we took the sack. We got the sack. And that, you think about that drive as a big play. We make the long run. We get a holding call. They get a face mask. Then we have to bring it back. And Teddy doesn't throw it away. We take a sack. And then he goes in and hits the big field goal, which made it, got us to 15.
Was Sonoris almost, for some reason, better suited for these conditions? It seemed like he wasn't really affected by it.
Well, he wasn't, but if you think about it, the one that Jeremy fumbled, I said, don't take him out, put him back in, and then he comes off tackle and makes it like a 9-yard run. So it was both of them, and Jeremy wanted to get back after. So both of these guys are kind of suited. You know, you look at both of them playing very well right now, so the conditions, I think, didn't affect them at all.
Have you ever had a game like this where the play calling was so affected by it?
I never played in a game like this. All my years as a coach, I've never been in a game like this where there's a downpour or rain, because usually it eases up, but it just turned into one of those games where you knew both sides of the ball had to run the football, because the quarterbacks couldn't get no grip on the ball at all. You know, if you were going to make a completion, think about us, we get the 2-point play, Eli Rogers is wide open. I mean, wide open in the end zone, and you know, Teddy just loses the grip on it and doesn't get it out to him.
Charlie, what's it like to talk about being 5-0 with what you guys have been through the last couple of weeks?
Well, it's you know, you speak volumes, this football team, the way they have been able to just maintain the focus. And I know some games we didn't finish the way we like to finish, but still they just keep battling and keep battling. And it's a group of guys that's fun to be around right now, because now they're beginning to realize who they are, and just their whole attitude is beginning to change.
Nice to have an open week though now.
Oh, it's great to have an open week, because now you get this what I call the preseason over with. Now we get into the season. Now the games really count, because now every game is so important.
What kind of went through your mind on that 5-yard punt that set up the game winner?
Well, I thought I had Leon Lett back out there on the field. I'm like, oh my God, no. My man, he picked that ball up. I said, no, he fell on it. I said, oh God. But then, you know, you look at it, the play before that, Bouchel almost blocked that punt. So then I think he kind of felt it, and then Bouchel rushes him again, and then the ball just slides out of there. But I was like, oh, get away from it, get away from it.
The play before that, DeAndre made a huge sack.
A huge sack, and we brought pressure, and we got a big sack there to play before that. But just defensively, it's just, you know, the first half we give up all those yards rushing, and then the second half they began to pick it up, and then they played a lot better.
What adjustments did you make at halftime? Anything?
No, because what I said to our guys on defense, I said, it's not what you're calling right now, Bass. It's just that we're not getting off blocks and we're not making tackles. If we just make the tackle, we're fine. You know, all of both of those long runs. Because you look at the first scored touchdown, they score off of a tip ball, and then we give them 2 big long runs in that one drive, and we would have been off the field if we just make just hit. And then we get the personal foul, which I didn't see on the field goal. You know, I thought Mount was on the ground, and he stepped on Mount and fell. So I mean but you know, I still officiating, but it's still cool.
How big was Cameron Joy able to fill in for?
It was great to see Cameron come in and fill in for Miller because, you know, you lose a starter. We don't have that many linemen anyway. But I don't think John's as serious. Hopefully we can we get us a rest and get it back.
How much of your playbook did you have to scrap because of the weather?
Well, offensively, we had to scrap a lot because we can throw the ball, and that's a part of our game because we are a play-action team, so we can get it done. Because and plus what they were doing, they knew you can throw the ball, so they just kept loading boxes, just kept bringing pressure. So that's why we were able to break some long runs. Because if you ever break the line of scrimmage, then you're going to get the big runs.
As the day developed, did somebody tell you it's going to be raining out there all night long, or?
Well, Coach G told me this morning we had an 80%
Gary?
chance. Coach Gary, and he said you have an 80% chance tonight. And I said, Coach, you're really? And but that was at 8 o'clock. He said, well, it's going to begin at 9. So we go through a walkthrough this morning. There's no rain. And then probably around 1 or 2 o'clock it just started coming down, and it never let up.
And what did you think at that point?
Well, I thought that by game time, I said it would push on out of here. And then the second quarter it kept pounding us, and I was like, oh God, it isn't. No, it's going to stop. The game's over.
So you think it'll rain in Pittsburgh in 2 weeks?
Well, if it does, Kentucky, we survived that one. Then we had FIU, now this one. So we're ready for the rain. All right. Thank you, guys.